I want to invite up Marty of Digital Relevance and David of Rackspace.
Thank you for having me. Who I am. Again, my name is Marty Muse. I'm with a company that you may not have heard of. We recently rebranded Slingshot SEO, which is a 6-year-old SEO agency in this space, to Digital Relevance. We're actually having both brands run simultaneously. Slingshot SEO is an SEO firm and agency, it's a full services agency, and Digital Relevance is really focused or pivoted away from that in a sense towards content marketing and digital PR. So again, Marty Muse, and this is David Whitworth.
Hi guys, yeah, also kind of second that. Thank you to Bright Edge and everybody from the team. Y'all have been great. This has been a wonderful conference and really have enjoyed it. If we want to...
Relevance.com, a little bit about me, a little bit about David.
There you go.
So by the way, David and Rackspace have been a client of ours for a little over, 2 years now? Mm-hmm. And we've had a lot of success. And today's presentation, if you will, is basically a case study. But Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about Rackspace?
Okay, yeah. So I came to Rackspace about 10 months ago. For those of you who are not aware of Rackspace, we're a hosting company. So email hosting. In fact, I think Bright Edge uses our email hosting service. We do web hosting both with dedicated servers and cloud. So that's a big buzzword nowadays out there. And Rackspace is one of the leaders in the cloud industry. Personally, myself, I have about 7 years experience in online. Before that, I was in finance, and then I attended University of Texas and got my MBA, and then just jumped into the world of online marketing and SEO. That's actually, I started a website right after business school, and that's where I learned SEO. I just dug in. I did soup to nuts, everything. Keyword research, writing content, link begging, you name it. I did it. But since then, I did that for about a year. Then I got married. Couldn't live on ramen noodles anymore, so I had to get a real job and started doing some in-house marketing with a range of people from startups, mid-size, to very large companies like Dell. I was at Dell for about 2 years prior to Rackspace. Rackspace is it's a wonderful company to work for. I've been really happy there. It's one of the top 50 companies to work for in the United States. It's just this innovative company that our corporate offices are an old hotel, or not hotel, sorry, a mall that was completely vacant. We came in and bought it. It was in a kind of deteriorating neighborhood. They bought it. They filled up about half of it so far. They've rejuvenated the neighborhood. Schools are getting better. The neighborhood's getting better. Everything. It's been a wonderful experience. In fact, Marty, you were there. It's just a fun place and very innovative place to be. But that's Rackspace. And here you can follow me at Dr. Whitworth on Twitter if you like.
So search and earned media, bringing it all together. When we were asked to speak about this, the first thought that came across my mind was, well, it's much more than just search and earned media, because as soon as you pull in earned media, now you're talking about the potential to affect social and brand and email nurturing databases and list growth and retargeting. So in our opinion, in Digital Relevance's opinion, earned media is really a single stone, if you will, that can kill 7 birds. And as we move into this new business model, if you will, what we're really trying to do is help companies, help businesses grow business. And to that end, about, I don't know, David, 6-7 months ago, we began running an earned media campaign. And again, today is just to talk about those results. So agenda real quick, walk through the ecosystem, an update, on how that's affected the Rackspace account and success, and then a shift into inbound marketing, the impact and evolution of that, how the campaign performed, and then some key takeaways, and then I have a free offer, if you will, at the end of the presentation. So let's go ahead and jump in, David.
Okay.
So this slide was, in a sense, showed early this morning, and I decided not to take it out, but this shouldn't be news to anyone with regards to traditional SEO and what was, if you will, the sweet spot where just a few feels like a few months ago, but just a few years ago, technical SEO and black hat link building tactics were very easy and fast way to win at SEO. And content marketing was something that wasn't, well, let's face it, it was more difficult at the time to accomplish, and we were fighting tooth and nail to get SEO budgets, let alone to be able to walk across the hallway and move the needle, move with compassion the content writing folks and or the in-house writing teams. Even from an agency perspective, it was more difficult to do that. But over the past 2 or 3 years, I think our entire industry has understood that there is a major shift brewing, and if not already underway, and that ship has sailed. And I can speak to for myself and say that over the past 8 weeks, I've been to 4 conferences, some as a speaker, some as a guest, and they're all search conferences. But at the end of the day, the content that's been spoken the most about has been about content. And every SEO that I've known for 10 years who at one time considered themselves an unbelievable link builder or an unbelievable enterprise site architecture type guru, they're coming to me now and they're like, you know what, I've seen the light. And if we don't move our organization into really helping our prospects answer those how-to questions that we saw this morning, right? Then we're going to fall behind, because there's an attack from Google, if you will, on traditional SEOs with regards to the secure data that we've heard about again this morning. So this is what was then, and this is just a representation then of, again, all the other algorithm updates that we've all been a part of. And this is now. So content marketing, much more of a presence amongst our organizations. And I would even say from an agency perspective, working with some of the organizations out here, that content marketing itself is growing in its budgets. And that technical SEO is still being outsourced for perhaps some of the very large enterprise sites out there. But that skill set's been brought in-house, and there's so much knowledge now around how to fix all those technical issues, pagination, canonicalization, you name it, that it's become an easy skill set, I hate to say it, to find and to bring in-house. So really, what we're seeing from clients such as Rackspace and many others is the need to bring in that creativity that says, at the end of the day, I just want to make more money. And I brought you in here not to get me ranks. I brought you in here to make me money. So you got me the rankings, and that didn't bring the money. So we created the click-through rate study a couple years ago. Yep. And I'm not sure if Andrew from the Bright Edge team is in here. Andrew, thank you. Thank you for attending. But he was mentioning this morning that, if you don't mind me saying this, man, that most of the accounts that he works with here at Bright Edge, one of the first things he's doing is throwing in that click-through rate study that Slingshot, our old brand Slingshot, had conducted a couple years ago, and resetting the tone for what you really get out of SEO as far as click-throughs and how to apply that towards revenue and whatnot. So here we are today, where social media, as we heard from Todd and from, I forget the lady's name, from Sarah, excuse me, from Google+, obviously on the rise. I agree with Todd Friesen's sentiment that search and SEO are here, and that the day is coming where social is going to have a much larger impact, much larger impact in the algorithms than it does currently, but they're still a little bit far apart. And then outside of being logged in into Google+, Google's admitted that social media hasn't had the effect on search that we all thought it was going to in 2010 and in 2011. So let's talk about a little bit about how that has affected Rackspace in this ecosystem. Now, this is just a reference to, I'm sure you've all seen this, but by a show of hands, how many have seen this in the GWT guidelines about, this is literally strict, copied right out of GWT, where Google's basically telling you, just make sure that your site adds value, provide unique and relevant content that gives users a reason to visit your site first. And There's a lot of reference given to some GWT language over the past couple of weeks that's changed and scared a lot of in-house SEOs, and I'm seeing smiles, so I know it's happened in your companies as well. But you know what? They're telling us what to do. They're telling us where they're headed, and it's time that agencies like the one I represent move there on behalf of our clients. So.
Okay, great, thank you. Just to kind of repeat what Marty just said, it really is about that kind of content. And in fact, I kind of had an aha moment earlier when I was listening to the last session when it was about SEO, like what are we today? And really, I think maybe a better name for us now would be CDO, Content Delivery Optimization, or Discovery Optimization. Getting our great content from our companies that is out there and getting it discovered. That's really what we're all about from the SEO world. And someone asked me, we were going through a reorganization at our company, and there was going to be some moving, and a lot of people asked me, even my managers, where should SEO sit in today's world? Right now, I'm on the inbound digital marketing team with paid search, and I had social at one time was with us, and we had analytics. And then social kind of left and went to another team, and then they kind of wondered, well, where should SEO live? Should it be in digital marketing? Should it be on the web team? Should it be with social? Where should it be? And really, after kind of digging through it, where I think it should be is a dedicated content team that supports all content across the company. And it would sit there in the kind of the website and help them optimize their content. So that's where I kind of see SEO nowadays. But here I wanted to talk about some of the impacts that we've seen recently, as Marty kind of talked about the searches that are secure. They showed the number, I think it was 49%, is that what it was at the keynote? I would love 49%. I tell you, right now you can't really see it very clearly, but up here I'm at 72% of my keywords are unavailable. Now that's probably because of our target audience. We're very kind of IT driven. I think there was an earlier talk in the other tract that showed kind of Intel, their IT decision makers were much higher than their consumer counterparts. Their consumer counterparts were less than 50%, and I think their IT was about 58%. Well, we're seeing, because most of the stuff is all IT and very technical, because we go after developers, we go after the CTOs and things like that, they're already behind the secure search. So 72% of our keywords are hidden. That makes it very difficult. When we're seeing dips in SEO and my manager saying what's happening, what's hitting, what are the keywords that are not working, when you only see 28% of the keywords, it's very hard because that volume, even though we have a lot of traffic to Rackspace.com, just a small percentage of it, and when you then break it out individually by a keyword, one little sign up or one little traffic to those keywords can significantly make a difference. So it's too hard to compare and to see really what's not working and what is working. So what I loved about Bright Edge and the new things that y'all are coming out with on the by pages, because that's what I'm shifting right now. I'm shifting more towards looking at pages because I can't see keywords. So now I'll look at a page, but then I'll also look at that section. So our product pages versus our solution pages or our blogs, things like that, Knowledge Center. So the campaign, speaking of the campaign, so our goals primarily were increasing organic traffic. In that organic traffic, we were focused more on the non-branded search. We pretty much, rule the roost with branded stuff. We didn't focus too much on it, so we focused our efforts on the non-branded search. The other area that we wanted to look at was the brand authority. So because we have shifted into cloud and we are no longer the leader, we are now one of many, and there's a lot of big companies out there, we have to come now showcase our authority. So that's really what we've kind of come around with this earned media campaign and these articles, trying to get that awareness of Rackspace and that we understand that industry, and so that people will recognize us when they start doing their searches.
So the strategy is pretty simple, straightforward. On-page relevancy, and then also earned media campaigns using additional content that's been written by the experts at Rackspace and syndicated through the digital relevance networks and relationships to increase earned media signals, and then tactically speaking, again, leverage earned media, increase social signals, and implement the overall content strategy. So what tools were used, goes without saying that a majority of our agency's success, and I see Eric Herbal here this morning, or this afternoon, he's our content rep at Bright Edge. Eric and his team have been very helpful in getting our entire agency trained up and properly using the Bright Edge tool. We've used that primarily for every campaign that we're running, whether it's dare I say, old school SEO campaign, or if it's a content syndication, earned media type program. We also use the other tools mentioned here, but I do want to highlight Bright Edge. So challenges, talk to us just a quick minute, David, about the competitors and the overall landscape.
Okay. Yeah, so as I said, we moved into a new industry, cloud. Some of our bigger competitors there, as you'll see, Terramark, Amazon, Microsoft, SoftLayer. And if you actually look at the people behind Terramark and SoftLayer, that's Verizon and IBM, because IBM just bought SoftLayer. So we're a 5,000 people company out of San Antonio, Texas, pretty small in comparison to things. We're going after some pretty large giants and some early movers with Amazon. So that's been a big struggle and a big challenge with us. In terms of organizational structure, we've been focused on kind of two campaigns, one keyword focused and the other earned media, and it's been kind of limited. Like I said, one-man shop. There's only so much I can do. I'm spending a lot of time, one, just getting to know the business. Cloud was new to me, so I have to understand cloud. I have to understand Rackspace and get it. And that's the great thing about working together with an agency, is that I can get that in-depth knowledge and understanding of that and then help them, because they're coming from a distance. And there's only so much they can do from a distance. So putting these two together, they're going to be on the cutting edge. They're going to help kind of leverage my time. So I only have a finite time. I can leverage them when I need all that keyword research done for a lot of different pages, or the building the relationships of the earned media. I don't have time to go do that myself, just the one-man show. So that's what's great, and we've been able to work very well together. Identifying the audience and outreach, again, that's kind of goes back to that relationship building. As a one-man team, I don't have the capabilities or the team to be able to go do that. And so that's been a struggle, but relying on the Slingshot, they've been great at doing that for us.
So the overall process, again, is relatively straightforward and simple. Keywords and competitor analysis, research. So we have a very simple methodology overall, and starts with research. It's RCPC, research, and then content creation, promotion, and then conversion. As part of that methodology, what we did for the campaign at Rackspace, a lot of keyword research and analysis, a lot of competitor analysis, a lot of trends analysis. Not only just what are the personas and demographic information, psychographic information, but who are the social influencers of Rackspace's prospects? What content are they actually sharing? Who's the influencer of the influencer? Where does his prospects go for their morning cup of coffee? That type of analysis. Get right into content creation, which is something that the Rackspace team of writers has done for us as a team, and they're fantastic. And then getting right in and taking that content and getting it placed on external sites, whether it be either in guest posts, teaser copy, niche blogs, mass audience, you name it. Getting earned media right without, in the truest sense, without having to pay for it. Overall process. So to dive into that then, you want to take a second and talk about?
Yeah, let me do that. So it's been great. They do have this great process they bring to the table, and they've been working with me a lot. And one thing that we've discovered that has been really good is now leveraging the business. So we have product marketers. So we get them now in a room together, the product marketers with Slingshot, and we get down and we ask them, just brain dump all the keywords you can think of that might be relevant for it. Tell me all your use cases for your products. So what can a cloud database do? What does it actually do? Who are the key competitors? What are the questions that your kind of target audience is asking? So what are those things that they're struggling with that we might be able to solve with that? We get into the unique selling proposition. And then I think the last one was the targeted segment. What do they look like? What does that person look like? Who is it? Are they an IT decision maker? Are they DevOps? Are they the sysadmin? and we really get to know into it, and we work with Slingshot, and they take all that information and they go back with this process and do all this keyword research and analysis and come up with all these keywords that we need to optimize for, knowing what content we have, what content we need. Then we can start building topics to create these earned media articles for and start syndicating that. So it's been a wonderful process working together with them.
Thank you. So we've already discussed the actual media production. The Rackspace team is doing that for us. Outreach and placement, again, targeted outreach, earned media placement, promotion. It's kind of been unique for what is a 6-year-old SEO agency to transform itself into a PR firm. And at its core, that's what we're doing. We're taking and hiring. We probably now have 1/3 of our company is assisting us in our digital PR efforts. And it's been great, and we're having a lot of success with it.
Yeah.
So let's keep going here. Let's take a look at some results real quick, David.
Okay.
So public cloud. So he's only receiving 28% of his keyword data, but we do have 6 examples of keywords that have climbed in rank because of this campaign.
Yep.
So public cloud from not ranked to number 7, a 265% increase in traffic. Hybrid cloud, which is, I know, near and dear to
Yes.
everyone at your company, including the CEO.
Yes, it's a big strategic
From
focus.
33 to 3, 367% increase in traffic. And then cloud backup, not ranked to number 8. David, I'll let you take this.
So those are kind of more strategic level terms, kind of head terms, people doing research, things that we want to be made aware of Rackspace when they're doing that. So like I said, hybrid cloud, CEO all the way down, everybody is about hybrid cloud right now. But here are some kind of the, not quite longer tail, but getting close to more of the bottom of the funnel terms. And we've even had success there, as you see. So Joomla hosting support, and MySQL hosting. It's gone from Joomla from not ranking to 9. That's a 250% traffic change with that rank. So that's the great thing about it is we're not only seeing rank improvements, but there are real business results from this stuff. This traffic is coming, and this traffic does convert, especially with these. The others is not as much converting traffic, because like I said, it's kind of top of funnel awareness, but these are the bottom of the funnel ones, and this is the traffic that we love because it comes in, it converts, and creates accounts right then. So it's been great.
So the campaign findings, basically the bigger the brand, in our opinion, the tougher it is to maintain agility. I mentioned a conference in Boston. It was a CMO conference, and there was about 60 CMOs in the room, and the number one concern that they all had in a poll was agility. And you probably all feel that as marketers every day, that being agile is probably one of the most important things that you can do right now, especially if you're an agency. Number 2, it takes a lot of pushing to move the needle. We talk about that needle as if it's your grandmother's knitting needle, and in reality, it's it feels like it's impossible to move at times, but it does take a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of, especially for an agency, a lot of teamwork between the in-house crew and the agency side to make sure that everyone's in sync. And David, you did mention that there was a lot of communication between our teams to make sure that both sides are moving in tandem as opposed to in separate silos.
Yes.
And again, a stable foundation takes communication and cooperation. So what's next for Rackspace?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've discovered with kind of the earned media right now, a lot of our content creation, while it's done by, they see it as done by us, we're actually outsourcing it to a third party and creates a lot of this bulk content. And Slingshot has kind of come back to us and said, well, this content is good. When we had, it was, I can't remember what, 30% acceptance rate at one point. Now it's down to single-digit acceptance rates. So after all the Penguin and Panda updates, webmasters are a little more weary of taking third-party content that they don't, they can't talk to the writer. They don't understand who that writer is, because when they look at LinkedIn, that's not a Rackspace writer. So there's been that struggle on there. So that's one of the shifts that we're working on, is trying to create more in-house content, which I don't know if any of you have ever tried that, but it is a struggle. But we're beta testing a new program, and I think it's going to be successful, getting more buy-in from the leaders, being part of their job. So the product marketers who know their customers and know their products, we're going to rely on them to really write a lot of this content for us in bulk and in mass. But the other thing that we wanted to see from this is, and this is what I'm really excited about is our next stage, is kind of these content centerpieces. So now instead of, And we're still going to do bulk and en masse and try to leverage as much as we can and at scale. But we also want to do a lot of research. And so Slingshot is working with us, and we're going to, at least once a quarter, they're going to do all this research, understand our customers, understand our competitors. What is that content that people are wanting and demanding? They talked about earlier your click-through rate analysis. You guys did the exact same process for that. You understood what their customers wanted from content, and now they're going to bring that to us, and they're going to do all, because a lot of our content, to be honest with you, our content team does ideation and they brainstorm and they're like, this would be cool, let's try this. This would be cool, let's try this. It hasn't really been data-driven. Now Slingshot's going to come in and help us with this data-driven approach. It's going to look at, see what people are sharing online already. Where do they live, or where do they live online? What are they doing? What are their needs? And now bring it to us, and we'll create the content so that it is Rackspace-driven content, and it will be in demand because of that alone. But then they'll come in and then help us share it and get that content discovery. And we think through that content discovery that it's going to naturally just earn the links. So no more, building links. Now we're just earning them because we are giving the customer what they want based on a kind of data-driven approach. So I'm very excited about this next step.
Yeah, so again, we're just helping businesses grow business, and we're an SEO firm that's pivoting. That said, we've been drinking our own Kool-Aid. Our SEO firm, if you will, has been driving our own leads through this earned media approach, through that recipe that I mentioned, RCPC, for over 2 years now. And we stumbled across that click-through rate study that I've mentioned that is still being shared. And I told Andrew this morning, we're still driving leads every day. And our sales team back in Indianapolis is busy every day working deals that piece of content created 2 years ago for your industry, for our industry was created for. We're taking that to our clients, and we believe that, especially in a B2B, we can fill the top of the funnel. So, shameless plug, if you want our recipe, you want more information about what we're doing for our clients, how we do it, and the why behind it, check us out. There's a shortened URL down there. Visit relevance.com, and you should find this on the homepage, if not under resources. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.